U.S. health officials propose using a cheap antibiotic as a quote-unquote morning after pill against the STDs. U.S. health officials plan to endorse a common antibiotic as a post-coitus morning after pill that gay and bisexual men can use to avoid some increasingly commonly STDs.
That would be chlamydia, gonorrhea, and syphilis.
U.S. health officials plan to endorse a common antibiotic morning after pill, that gay and bisexual men, of course. The proposed CDC guideline was released Monday, and officials will move to finalize it after a 45-day public comment period.
Oh, all right. So is it, let's get some guesses here. Common antibiotic. It's either amoxicillin or doxycycline. Those are the ones that are produced the most and are the cheapest. Is that correct?
Scroll down here. The proposal comes after studies found that some people who took antibiotic dioxycycline within 3 days of unprotected schmecks were far less likely to get chlamydia, syphilis, or gonorrhea.
Called it. Called it.
Compared to with people who did not take the pill after schmecks. The guideline is specific to the group that has been most studied, gay and bisexual men and transgender women who had an STD in the previous 12 months and were at a high risk to get infected again. Well, if they would just...
All right, let me interject an Army story here. All right. I started the Green Beret Express young. I discovered that you could buy actual antibiotics for human beings at the pet store when I was like in high school. So while I was in the Army, I always maintained a supply of doxycycline, tetracycline, and there was one other one. Flagyl or whatever, for my own personal use. Because guess what? While I was young and slinging seed like an old bird feeder, there's about 6 weeks I don't remember because I was so drunk. And who knows what could have happened in those blackouts. Luckily for me, I took my antibiotics just in case I did something stupid. And back then, it worked. I would not recommend that today, because let's be honest, you're gonna get rotted off the range. And what that means is when you start dripping, you're gonna go to the doctor, and they're going to have this Q-tip thing on the end of a piece of wire. And they're going to ram it down your pee hole all the way down to the base of the stalk, pull it out, and then look at it under a microscope and see what kind of goodies you got growing on your shit down there. And in the military, I have written the sick call slips for probably, in 33 years, 200 dudes for issues with their downstairs mix-up. Which, in a roundabout way, because in today's day and age, you catch this stuff. The only reason you're catching it is either you're stupid or lazy. That's it. There is no other excuses. All right.
Fun times.
Just telling you, man. That one dude, Riggs. He literally went on sick call like 2 or 3 times a week for months on end for VD, and it came to an end when he pissed top for syphilis, and he was quickly moved out to somewhere else. I don't know what happened to him after that. If he kept up doing what he was doing, he's probably unalive now.
Sometimes I'm just jumping back and forth between the chats here just to make sure that things are all up and running, because apparently Kick was not working there for a second, but it is working now.
Growing pains.
So yeah, Murphy showed up, and of course he's got to stick it in our ass.
And I think we are the only. I don't know if there's anyone else who streams to as many platforms at one time as we do.
Yep. I don't know what the issues are. I'm on my new PC here, so fucking Murphy shows up. Of course, it wouldn't be a stream if that didn't happen.
It's happened. It's not a big deal, bro.
But jumping back into the article here, there's less evidence that the approach works for other people, including heterosexual men and women. That could change as more research is done, said Merman, who oversees the CDC's STDs effort. Even so, the idea ranks as one of the only few major prevention measures in recent decades in a quote unquote field that's lacked innovation for so long, said Merman. The others include a vaccine against the HPV virus and pills to ward off the Hippo HIV.
Yeah. Like I said before, those pills are not good for your internal organs, for the Hippo HIV. And it's not a secret. It's been known for years that we're developing a lot of antibiotic resistant pathogens just by using antibiotics as much as we do. I mean, we have farmers washing fruit, in antibiotic mixtures. They're giving it to all of our animals, our poultry, everything. So the entire food chain that contacts these antibiotics is becoming resistant to them, and there will come a time where they probably will quit working, and then we're really fucked.
Fun times. Let's see, doxycycline, a cheap antibiotic that has been available for more than 40 years, is a treatment for health problems including acne, chlamydia, and Rocky Mountain spotted fever.
Yep. Yes, it is.
The CDC.
What?
Go ahead.
You can also treat with doxycycline. You can treat malaria, Lyme disease. What else? If you get like sepsis, get an infected cut, you take it for that. It works pretty good for the most part, but it is very commonly used in agriculture. So yeah, this solution is probably not going to hold up for the long run.
It goes on. The CDC guidelines were based on 4 studies using doxycycline against bacterial STDs. One of the most influential was a New England Journal of Medicine study earlier this year. Found that gay men, bisexual men, and transgender women with previous STD infections who took the pill were about 90% less to get chlamydia, about 80% less to get syphilis, and 50% less likely to get gonorrhea compared to those people who didn't take the pills after sex.
Oh my God.
A year ago, San Francisco's health department began promoting doxycycline as a morning after prevention measure. Well, they definitely need it down in San Francisco.
Oh my God, yeah.
Ugh.
I sent you an article earlier. There's a small town in Florida it literally is the highest STD rate in the entire country.
I didn't read that one, but isn't that one like a part of a retirement community?
I believe it is.
That's what I was expecting. With infection rates rising, we didn't feel like we could wait. Dr. Stephanie Cohen, who oversees the Department STD prevention work. Some other city, county, and state health departments, mostly on the West Coast, followed suit. At Fenway Health, a Boston-based healthcare center that serves many gay, lesbian, transgender clients, about 1,000 patients are using doxycycline. That way now, said Dr. Tamir Khan, the organization's associate medical research director. The guidelines should have a big impact because many doctors have been reluctant to talk to patients about it until they heard from the CDC, Khan said.
Yeah. Okay. So the antibiotic you're trying to pronounce is called doxycycline.
All right, there we go.
Doxycycline. Yeah. And then you have amoxicillin, which is like 2 molecules different from the doxycycline. How do I know this? I have no idea.
Oh, man.
I mean, it must be a brain injury thing. I have facts floating around in the back of my thinking meat that aren't attached to any type of identification cards. They just kind of show up.
The drug's side effects include stomach problems and rashes after sun exposure. Some research has found it ineffective in heterosexual women, and widespread use of the doxycycline as a preventative measure could theoretically contribute to mutations that make bacteria impervious to the drug.
There you go.
That kind of antibiotic resistance hasn't materialized in San Francisco, but it would be important to watch for, Cohen said.
All right. Well, we all know that there's a strain of gonorrhea floating around out there that's highly antibiotic resistant.
Yeah.
And listen, when shit blows up in your life and you're in that pool, that quagmire of helplessness and loneliness or hopelessness, whatever, all right, you could decide you're going to go out and bang a slump buster and catch yourself something nasty, and that's just one more thing to push you over the edge. So that's kind of why I'm touching on this, because if you're in a bad state of mind, then you get hit with this on top of all that, it could be quite devastating.
Watch Grunt Speak live every Tuesday and Thursday at 8 p.m. Eastern. And if you want to join Pop for Supporter Sundays, go to redonkulous.com/donate and make a monthly pledge. A link is in the meat caser box.